What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, where we keep you updated on the latest travel news and safety tips from around the world. If you're planning a trip or just love learning about global events, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a topic that's both urgent and important: the 10 countries the US government is urging Americans to leave immediately. These aren't just routine warnings, these are official advisories that could impact your safety and well-being. These aren't random picks. These are places where your safety could be at serious risk due to ongoing conflicts, political instability, or sudden outbreaks of violence. The situation in some of these countries can change rapidly, making it even more critical to stay informed. We've researched official advisories, recent news reports, and real accounts from travelers on the ground to bring you the most current and reliable information available right now. Whether you're a frequent traveler, have loved ones abroad, or are just curious about global hotspots, knowing why these countries are on the do not travel list is absolutely crucial for your safety and peace of mind. This isn't about spreading fear or panic, it's about being smart, prepared, and aware of the real risks out there. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your safety. We'll break down why each country made the list, from active war zones and civil unrest, to the risk of wrongful detention or sudden border closures. Each situation is unique, and understanding the reasons can help you make informed decisions. Some of these countries and the reasons behind the advisories might really surprise you. It's not always the places you'd expect, and the risks can range from political upheaval to health emergencies. Stick around, because the last country on our list is facing a rapidly changing situation, with new developments happening almost every hour. You won't want to miss this update. Let's get right into it, starting with number 10. This is serious, so pay close attention and let's go. Number 10 on our list is Afghanistan, a country that has been thrust into chaos and uncertainty in recent years. Since the US withdrawal in 2021 and the rapid Taliban takeover, Afghanistan has been plunged into extreme instability. The streets of Kabul, once bustling with life, are now patrolled by armed fighters, and scenes of panic at the airport have become a symbol of the nation's turmoil. There's no longer a functioning US embassy in the country. If you find yourself in trouble, you're truly on your own, with no official American presence to turn to for help or protection. The US State Department has issued its highest level warning, Level 4, do not travel. This advisory isn't just a formality, it's a response to the rampant kidnapping, violent crime, and ongoing terrorist threats that plague the country. Groups like ISIS-K and other extremist factions are active and openly hostile, especially toward Westerners. Foreigners are often seen as targets, making travel here extremely risky. Afghanistan's infrastructure has all but collapsed. Hospitals are struggling to provide even basic care, banks are unreliable or closed, and communication networks are frequently down, making it difficult to reach help in an emergency. Medical care is extremely limited, and widespread poverty has only fueled a surge in crime. Many Afghans are left waiting for hours, sometimes days, for essential services that may never come. The legal system is now entirely under Taliban rule. Basic rights and freedoms, especially for women and minorities, have been stripped away. Justice is swift and often brutal, with little regard for due process. Even minor actions or misunderstandings could land you in prison, and with no US diplomatic presence, there's virtually no recourse or assistance available for Americans. The US government is urging all Americans to leave Afghanistan immediately by any means possible. Evacuation flights are rare and border crossings are dangerous and unpredictable. The security situation can change in an instant. Explosions, armed clashes, and sudden lockdowns are a daily reality, making it nearly impossible to predict what might happen next. Afghanistan's natural beauty and rich history are undeniable, but right now, it stands as one of the most dangerous places in the world for Americans. The risks far outweigh the rewards, making travel here a perilous choice. Number 9 is Russia. Once a top destination, it's now a high-risk zone for Americans. The invasion of Ukraine has tanked US-Russia relations. Americans have been wrongfully detained, sometimes on fabricated charges. The Russian legal system is harsh, and US help is limited. Americans can be used as political pawns. Credit cards don't work, flights are scarce, and you could get trapped. Dual citizens are at even higher risk. The US government says, do not travel to Russia. If you're there, leave now. The risks are real and life-altering. Safety comes first. Number 8 is Ukraine. Once vibrant, it's now an active war zone. Daily missile strikes and combat make every part of the country dangerous. The US has issued its highest warning and suspended embassy services. If you're in trouble, there's no official help. The US can't evacuate citizens. If you stay, you're on your own. The war has created a severe humanitarian crisis. Food, water, and medicine are scarce. Martial law means curfews and checkpoints. The situation changes rapidly. Nowhere is truly safe. Even volunteers are urged not to go. Ukraine is at war and the risk is extreme. Americans must leave while they still can. Number 7 is North Korea. The US has no diplomatic relations, no embassy, no help. It's illegal for Americans to travel there without special permission. The risk of arrest and long-term detention is extremely high. Even minor actions can be seen as crimes. Punishments are severe. Americans have been used as political bargaining chips. The legal process is non-existent. No fair trial, no presumption of innocence. Entering North Korea is an unimaginable risk. The US government's message is clear: don't go. The Hermit Kingdom is closed off and dangerous. The consequences are dire. Number 6 is Iran. US-Iran relations are as tense as ever. The US warns of kidnapping and arbitrary detention, especially for dual citizens. Americans have been held for years on baseless charges. Iran often denies US consular access to dual nationals. The US has no embassy, only limited help through the Swiss embassy. Protests and unrest can erupt suddenly and are met with violence. Terrorist groups operate in border regions, targeting foreigners. The security environment is volatile and can change fast. The risk of wrongful detention is high. No US embassy means almost no support. Traveling to Iran is a dangerous gamble. The risk of a nightmare scenario is simply too great. Number 5 is Syria. Over a decade of civil war has made it one of the world's most dangerous places. The US embassy closed in 2012. No help is available. The country is a battleground of violence, bombings, and kidnappings. Americans are prime targets for terrorist groups and the regime. Kidnapping, torture, and execution are real threats. The Assad regime detains and abuses foreigners. Infrastructure is destroyed. Hospitals, roads, and utilities barely function. Medical care is almost non-existent. The US says no American should travel to Syria for any reason. The risks are overwhelming. It's a failed state and no place for Americans. Number 4 is Iraq. Despite faded headlines, Iraq remains highly dangerous and unstable. The US warns of terrorism, kidnapping, and armed conflict. ISIS and other groups still carry out attacks. Militias hostile to the US pose a serious threat. Americans are direct targets for these factions. The US Embassy's ability to help is severely limited. Travel outside secure zones is extremely risky. Protests and unrest can turn violent quickly. The State Department urges Americans to avoid all travel. The risks are lethally high. Number 3 is Venezuela. The country is in societal collapse, political turmoil, economic disaster, and a humanitarian crisis. The US Embassy closed in 2019. No help is available. Violent crime is rampant. Robbery, kidnapping, and homicide are common. The police are corrupt and often involved in crime. The government is hostile to Americans who risk wrongful detention. Infrastructure has collapsed. Food, water, and medicine are scarce. Hospitals lack basic supplies. Hyperinflation has destroyed the economy. No consular services mean no emergency help. The US warns, avoid Venezuela entirely. The risks are extreme. Number 2 is Somalia. Decades of civil war and terrorism have made it a failed state. The US warns of kidnapping, terrorism, and violent crime. Al-Shabaab targets Westerners and conducts deadly attacks. Kidnapping for ransom is common and brutal. The US does not pay ransoms and can't help hostages. The government controls little territory. Lawlessness prevails. The US Embassy's reach is extremely limited. Outside secure zones, you're on your own. Violent crime is rampant and medical care is poor. The risk of being killed or kidnapped is exceptionally high. Number 1 on our list is Yemen, a country that has become synonymous with unimaginable suffering and devastation. The United Nations has officially declared Yemen the world's worst humanitarian crisis, a title that reflects the sheer scale of human tragedy unfolding there every single day. Years of relentless war, widespread famine, and deadly disease outbreaks have left the nation in ruins. Families have been torn apart, entire communities destroyed, and millions of people are now struggling just to survive. The United States Embassy in Sana'a was forced to close its doors back in 2015, leaving American citizens and other foreigners without any official support or protection in the country. Yemen remains an active and extremely dangerous war zone. Airstrikes thunder overhead, shelling rock city streets, and ground combat between rival factions is a daily reality for those trapped inside. On top of the chaos, terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS operate freely, targeting Westerners for kidnapping, ransom, or even worse fates. The threat to foreigners is constant and severe. With no diplomatic presence, the US government is almost powerless to help its citizens if they are kidnapped or detained. Rescue or negotiation is nearly impossible. Famine and disease are everywhere. Food, clean water, and basic medicine are incredibly scarce, and malnutrition is widespread, especially among children. The country's infrastructure has been decimated. Hospitals, roads, and bridges lie in ruins. Lawlessness prevails, with armed groups controlling many areas and no functioning legal system to protect civilians. Arbitrary detention is a constant risk. Americans and other foreigners can be arrested without cause and held indefinitely, with little hope of release. With no embassy and unreliable communications, you would be completely isolated, unable to reach out for help, or even contact loved ones. The US government has issued its strongest warning: never travel to Yemen under any circumstances. The risks are simply too great. For all these reasons, Yemen stands as the most dangerous place on this list, a country where survival itself is a daily struggle, and escape is nearly impossible. That's the 10 countries the US urges Americans to leave now. It's a sobering reminder to always research before you travel. The world is beautiful, but some places are incredibly volatile. Your safety comes first. Always check the State Department's travel advisories. Things can change fast, so use official sources. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if any country surprised you. Stay informed, travel safe, and see you next time.